What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MovieGuy.com if you're a blind film critic, and today we're going to take a look at The Peacemaker, Season 2, Episode 2. This is on Max with audio description, now called HBO Max, which is what it was called originally, but they went back to it. Sort of like, does anybody remember when Netflix tried to spin off like a service and then like they got like such horrific feedback because they were going to separate their mail-in service from their streaming service, and they had like a new name, and people were like, "Oh my god, that sounds terrible," and then they had to kill the new name and just reabsorb it back into Netflix. Feels like that. Feels like that. Yeah. So, um, but Peacemaker, James Gunn was doing the work here. This is sort of, we're still sort of moving forward a little bit. I don't know that we moved forward a lot, but we do pick up where we left off, where our version of Peacemaker has killed another version of Peacemaker and is trying to figure out what to do in sort of a hilarious result. He ends up chopping up his own body, and so he's got his own like decapitated head, and he's like burning the body of the other Peacemaker. All the while, he's being watched by Economist and whoever Tim Meadows was playing. I don't know, not important. But so we also see Rick Flag Sr. taking over Argus at the beginning, and Economist giving him, because like the first thing that he does when he is put in charge of Argus is he's like, "Give me the file on my son." And Economist is like, "Oh, okay, well, we're trying to hold that from you because it's really sort of upsetting, but if you want it." So I guess that's why he's got this vendetta on Peacemaker, is because Peacemaker stopped Rick Flag Jr. from releasing government secrets. Uh, so there's my favorite scene, which was Hardcore being in a store, and she had just been in that bar fight in the previous episode, so she looks pretty banged up, and somebody comes up to her and is like, "If you are in a situation and you need help, you just need to ask. Sometimes we don't know how to ask for help." And Hardcore in the beginning is being polite, but the lady just won't stop. The lady's just like, "It's okay, you can." And Hardcore is like, "I am not a mirror." So um, that was clever. Uh, we do kind of check in on all of Peacemaker's crew eventually, because they end up on Hardcore's roof for a party, so everybody's there and they've sort of reunited. Uh, we have Danielle Brooks, Ayo, I don't know. I feel like I'm just saying Ayo Adebari. I think that's close to what her name is in this thing, but I've I've forgotten it. Subscribe for, I don't know, memory lapses. So um, she ended up going back to her girlfriend's place, and her girlfriend's like, "We're broken up. You can't be here." And she's like, "I didn't know we were broken up. I thought we were just taking a break." And there's, what's the difference? Okay, well, fine, you know. So so we're still sort of trying to evolve the characters little bit by little bit, and they end up on a roof party, hanging out together, and Peacemaker has seen that the other version of him has photos of Hardcore on his phone. Interestingly, has no text messages to Hardcore, which you find out later when Chris tries to text Hardcore from that phone. Never texted her before. So, weird. But and there was something about in the last episode where his dad and his brother said something about his ex, which I'm guessing is Harcourt in this world. He doesn't know enough about himself in the other world to connect all the dots that I think he wants to connect, and he's not really sure he wants to be over there. All of this is just like the least interesting stuff. The top two moments of this episode were one, Tim Meadows, who comes in and everything he says is absolutely ridiculous, and I love Tim Meadows in this episode. He was hilarious. I don't care what his character's name was because he doesn't care what anybody else's name is. That's one of the funniest things. Is they get a whole bunch of agents to go in, and when Peacemaker leaves his place, they're going to sweep his place, and Tim Meadows is like doling out names, and they're just like they're the most like unpolitically correct names. Like I think somebody was named Tits. I just and then somebody's like, and then Encino Man was one of them, and one of the guys complained about you can't name us that, you can't do that, and he's like, I can do whatever I want. Now you just earned yourself a new name. So he just keeps now you're barely legal. So I thought Tim Meadows was great. He also goes into this sort of like overly long. He and Economist are sitting in a vehicle on a stakeout, and he goes into this like overly long speech about having bird blindness. He's like, it's my weakness, and Economist is like, but some of these birds aren't even the same size. Like, so when you see two birds in the I just see I don't see it. I just see a bird. So he gets so like he couldn't see that Eagly was he was like, what's up with the parrot? And he's like, that's a bald eagle. You don't know what a bald eagle is? He's like, I have bird blindness. So we had this ridiculous concept about having bird blindness, which is I guess like a silly version of having face blindness. Not the same thing as being blind, so I wasn't offended. It's just where you don't recognize a certain thing. But I love that Tim Meadows can't recognize birds, and that's his thing. Even when they're completely different sizes. He's like, yeah, hummingbird, little bird, flaps its wings. Yeah, I only know about that because I read it. And then the other great part is Eagly. Eagly just steals his episode. Everybody's off doing other shit, and when they try to raid Peacemaker's home, they find out that they really shouldn't. And Eagly is so badass. I didn't even realize it was this level of badass. He takes out the entire team. He kills everybody. Like Eagly kills this entire team that's trying to like invade Peacemaker's home, and just protects it. And like the audio description even had him doing this like little dance when he hops back up the steps. Like he's so proud of himself. I was just like, this is great. I love this bird. This bird is amazing. Because I was kind of worried. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna kill Eagly. I was like, oh no, they're not. Eagly's gonna kill them. Shit. Okay. Um, so yeah, those are my two favorite parts. Tim Meadows and Eagly were the two favorite. Honestly, not really. I didn't care too much about what he was going on with other people. I would say my third favorite scene was the hardcore scene in the store. Um, because she does have patience. She doesn't initially yell at the lady. She accepts what the lady's trying to say and do. It's just that the lady won't stop. Like she just Hardcore's like, thanks, I'm fine. That's not what it is. Thanks, but thank you, thanks, but no thanks. And Lady just keeps talking to her, and she just won't. She's like, fuck it, never mind. So, Peacemaker, season 2, episode 2. Yeah, I'm in a new world now where I'm thinking about eventually where does my grade land for the season. I'm a big fan of Peacemaker. I'm a nerd, so shows like this anyway skew up, like superhero shows. I'm a big fan of James Gunn. I love John Cena in this role. So I think last time I said this is going to be somewhere between a 9 9.5. It is leaning more towards a 9. I'll be honest. It's floating more towards a 9, but that's sort of where it is. It's still there between a 9 and 9.5 for me. Um, I don't quite know what the arc for the season is, because this episode I think if we were going to move quicker, needed him to go into the other realm, because I'm assuming that's where we're going to go. I do love the running gag also with the alien that comes in and they don't really explain it. There's this alien that comes in with a dead cat, and then and this time Cena just yells at it. He's like, "Well, fuck off," and then um, I forget who was with him at the time, but he asks, he's like, what's up with that guy?" And he's like, fucker. Every time I say hi, he just doesn't say anything back. Like, they still haven't really explained why this alien keeps coming in the room. Anyway, with dead cats, by the way. So, yeah, I'm loving Peacemaker. I hope you are too. Let me know in the comments. Tell me how much you love Peacemaker or don't love Peacemaker. It's okay if you don't. We have we all have different lives and choices we can make. So, um, I'll be back next week with another recap of Peacemaker. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.